you have a dragon spirit guide around you who'd like to connect. In fact, if you're watching this, probably you have multiple spirit dragon guides around you. In fact, you may even have many guides. So we are going to get into all of that fun stuff today. What exactly a dragon spirit guide is, what makes it unique. Can you have multiple spirit dragon guides? Does everyone have a dragon spirit guide? We'll be answering all of that and more in today's video. But first, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Hannah and I empower you to empower yourself. And today I'm going to be doing that by familiarizing you with this concept of the dragon spirit guide and assisting you in being able to connect with that dragon spirit guide or guides. So I've been talking about dragons for years now. However, if you saw my recent energy update video, which you can check out here, I talk in that video about how dragon energy is exploding right now. Okay, dragon energy is exploding. People that never had an affinity for dragons before suddenly are feeling drawn to them, suddenly seeing them everywhere. They're popping up, with channelers. They're popping up in our fiction, in our creative works more and more. And we're just going to see that happening more and more as we ascend. Because as we ascend, the dragons who have been here all along, just in the higher dimensions, they are reintegrating with us, or rather we are reintegrating with them, because it's been us that's been on the lower frequencies. They've been here the whole time in the higher frequencies, and now we're going from the lower frequency to the higher frequency, and they're holding that space for us as we do so. So if you're new here, just know I have tons of content on dragons and what they are, how to work with them. I literally have a playlist called Dragons Roar on my channel. Highly recommend you check that out. But because this dragon energy is really exploding right now, and I suspect a lot of new people are kind of coming into the awareness of dragon energy, I felt very called. It was on my heart to do kind of an updated video and to answer some questions that I get a lot that I haven't actually done a video on yet. So hopefully this video will be able to answer your questions and kickstart your journey with the dragons. And even if you're already an expert and you're working with lots of dragons, maybe there's still a tidbit that you can find in this video that is useful for you. Know that at the end of the video-ish, we're going to do kind of an activation with our personal dragon guide. So regardless of how little experience you have or a lot of experience that you have, this is something that I suspect is going to be quite powerful for you. So first and foremost, let's address what exactly is a dragon spirit guide. So you as a soul, as a human incarnating on Earth, you have a team of spirit guides around you. These are higher dimensional, higher frequency beings around you. And this can consist of dragons. It can consist of deceased loved ones. It can consist of ascended masters, deities, angels, spirit animals, and on and on and on. There are so many different types of spirit guides that you can have. So actually, I did a video on this, which I believe you can check out up here if you want to familiarize yourself with different types of spirit guides. But all you need to know for the purposes of this is that each spirit guide has their own specialization, like a theme. They're really, really good at a quality that they have, like a superpower, if you will. And each one provides that superpower for you as you go about your journey of being a human, and in particular, as you go about your journey being a human ascending on planet Earth at this time, which is super, super exciting. It is a great honor, albeit it is also highly challenging, as I'm sure I don't need to tell you. And I would say the dragon guides in particular want to help us with our ascension process, because dragons, they are very, very multidimensional. And something that makes them unique among spirit guides is their ability to basically instantly shift their frequency. They can basically go down to the lower dimensions. They can go like off into outer space, into like super high dimensions, like to the 12D and beyond, instantaneously. So they are masters of shifting their frequency. And that's essentially what we are learning as we ascend. So we, as a collective, as a planet, we've been in the third density, the third dimension, and we are now moving up into the fourth and the fifth. Then we're going to move to sixth and the seventh, maybe even beyond that. And we're anchoring these higher frequency energies back onto the planet. So dragons in particular are here to help us with that process. They are masters of this process. And anytime you're struggling on your ascension journey, you're struggling with ascension symptoms, for example, you can call on your dragon guide to help you with that. Now, dragon guides, they also have so many qualities, really. They have so many qualities and so many things they can help us with. And it's too much to get into in a single video. And this is why I have a private community about this. I have so many different offerings. I have so many different videos on YouTube and on TikTok about dragons. And so if this is something that interests you, I totally invite you to explore more of the content that I have. But some qualities of dragon energy. And I always like to say every dragon is different, so we don't want to stereotype here, but just some patterns that I've noticed working with dragons, working with other spirit guides, is that they tend to have this nice fusion of being very, very loving, of being very, very powerful and intense, and also having these really magical alchemical properties. They're able to transmute energy very quickly with their dragon's fire. Dragon energy is also very, very intense. And so if you're not ready to deal with it, it can feel a little threatening. It can feel a little overwhelming. It can feel a little intense. And if that is the case for you, then likely you're not exactly ready to activate that connection just yet. So you got to check in with yourself and see what feels positive, what feels expansive for you at this time. But know, for everyone, there will come a time when you are ready, when you are feeling that call to embrace that dragon energy within and without. So different types of dragons, let's talk about that briefly. On this channel up until this point, it's 2025 as of filming this, I've mostly just focused on elemental dragons. So these elemental dragons are the most prolific on Earth at this time. They are very intimately linked to Mother Earth and to the grid and to her frequency. And usually they possess 1 to 3 usually different elementals. And there are 9 different dragon elementals. So they are fire, water, earth, air, light, darkness, spirit or ether, chaos, storm. Those are the 9 dragon elementals. So most dragons, they're going to have an affinity for one or multiple ones from that pool. However, I just want to be clear, elemental dragons are not the only dragons there are. So there's also dragons that kind of attune to values, as I put it. I call them value dragons. I did a video about them. I'll see if I can leave it up here. And they basically are tuned to different energies, different values, such as love, such as freedom, such as wealth. And so we work in my program, Dragon Wealth. We work very intimately with the wealth dragons to attune ourselves to the frequency of wealth in all aspects of life, for example. And so these dragons, they can help you attune yourself to different frequencies. They are masters of a very specific energy, a very specific frequency. And then there's also golden dragons, which I talk about a lot on my channel too. And there are silver dragons, and these are both very high vibrational dragons associated with the ascension process and with alchemy. Perhaps I'll do more videos on them in the future because they're also very important. And then you have celestial dragons, you have source dragons, you have galactic dragons. And basically it all comes down to like, where was this dragon's origin? Was it on Earth? Was it somewhere else? And how far out there else was that origin is what it comes down to. But know that dragon energy at its core is very, very ancient. Dragon energy precedes the creation of Earth. And so dragons, more so than many beings, have been around here for a very long time. And there's so many different varieties you couldn't even believe. So as I always like to say, there's a dragon for that. If you can conceive of something, I promise you there is definitely a dragon for that. So what can dragons help us with? Number one, as I already mentioned, ascension. We as humans are going through this ascension process very intensely now as of late 2025 on Earth. Dragons, they want to help us with that. They want to help lighten our load and smooth this process out. Dragons are also great for connecting with multi-dimensional aspects of yourself. So for example, if you want to do a past life regression or a future life progression, you want to connect with different versions of yourself. You want to do reality shifting into, let's say, a parallel universe, a fictional world universe. Dragons are masters at this dimensional traveling, so they can certainly help you with that. And then also they tend to specialize in energy protection. So if you're someone that you feel like you're bombarded with a lot of dark energies, a lot of psychic attack, you find yourself surrounded by a lot of narcissistic people, maybe just in general you feel very empathic and very sensitive, you're an HSP, for example, an empath, dragon energy might be very beneficial for you to protect your energy, to filter out those energies in a very empowering way. Because dragons, they don't necessarily do that return to sender stuff where they're kind of just sending dark energy back and perpetuating the dark energy. They transmute it. They transmute it with their light and with their dragon's fire. So you can trust, if you have a dragon with you, you call on them for protection. Oftentimes, dark energy hits you, it's instantly transmuted into a higher frequency. And I would also say that dragons, another quality, of course, it's limitless. I can't stress enough that it's limitless, the ways that they can help you, that they can guide you, that they can work with you. I can only cover so much in this short video. But I would say that dragons also make wonderful, wonderful guides. Like quite literally, dragon guide. Your dragon can make a wonderful guide and mentor because they are so ancient and they tend to be very wise and very loving and very powerful. They have that like perfect balance of these three qualities. And so they can tell you exactly what needs to be done and imbue you with the discipline necessary to actually materialize that, to act on it, to actualize it. And so as a result, they can also serve as these bridges between the higher realms and the lower. Okay, so next question, next topic. Does everyone have a personal dragon spirit guide? This is a question I get asked a lot. And I would say the answer is quite nuanced. It is simultaneously yes and no. So in a way, everyone does have a dragon spirit guide. However, that dragon spirit guide energy is latent in that person's energy. It is kind of lying in a sort of stasis, waiting to be claimed, waiting to be activated. And that person may be the one to activate it themselves. If they just suddenly feel drawn to dragons, they will activate it that way. Or perhaps also the dragon could be the one that activates it. Maybe their souls made a contract with each other that they would remain unaware of this dragon spirit guide until a certain point at which the dragon would reveal themselves. And often this looks like you'll start seeing dragons everywhere. For example, it will just be a repeating synchronicity that comes up. So essentially, everyone has the potential to have a dragon spirit guide. And know that there is an abundance of dragons. There's way more dragons than humans. So everyone has the potential to have one. However, not everyone's dragons are active all the time and actively working with them. Like my dragon over here. This is Ryuji. He's my little dragon cat. He keeps talking. He keeps talking. He keeps roaring. He's such a dragon cat, isn't he? He's such a dragon cat. So the fact that Ryuji was very, very active just now, I just take that as a sign to share also, your pets can be dragon souls, as I like to say. And that's a video that will hopefully be coming soon where I can talk more about pets as dragon souls. And you will know if your pet is a dragon soul. You will feel it. You will feel the energy as I say it. In any case, not everyone's dragon guide energy is activated because dragon energy is very intense. It's so high vibrational, it can be very triggering for a lot of people. It will stir up a lot of shadows if you have a lot of dark energy within you and you haven't already cleaned out your energy and your aura. So dragon energy, it's very purging as well. But as a result, this is why not everyone's dragon guide or guides are active at this time. Next question, can you have multiple dragons? Can you work with multiple dragons? And the answer is an emphatic yes. Yes, of course. In fact, as I often say, once you work with one, you will kind of like light this beacon that, hey, I'm working with the dragons. I'm safe to work with the dragons. And you will attract so many, you will attract so many, and you will have so many dragons that want to work with you. Because like I said, there's way more dragons than humans, and they find us fascinating and they want to work with us. They want to help us. So usually once you open this door and this connection, it's a gift that keeps on giving and you start to attract so many different types. And there are so many different types of dragons. I would say it's useful to work with many different dragon guides that have, let's say, different elemental affinities, different values. Maybe they're not associated with any of that at all. They're just a very celestial dragon, a very galactic dragon. It can be very useful to have all these different energies because each one, they have their own gifts and their own specializations that they bring to the table, and they'll start to create like this dream team for you. And so if you're watching like my content, and let's say specifically you're watching content on the elemental dragons and you're a bit confused because you, let's say, identify with more than one of the elementals, or you identify with all of them, it could be that you have multiple dragon guides already with you holding each of these different elemental affinities, for example. So another question that everyone asks is, well, how do I work with my dragons, Hannah? How do I work with my dragons? And the answer to that is it's very, very simple. Intention. Intend to, and it will be so. Simple as that. Choose to open the connection, and it will open. It's that simple. So you can just say it out loud right now. I choose to embrace my connection with my dragon guide, and see what happens. See what happens. Perhaps you'll start noticing signs and synchronicities and you can communicate that way. Perhaps you will feel called to do some automatic writing, to channel them through tarot, through oracle cards. Maybe they will start giving you songs in your head. They will start speaking to you in your head. There's so many ways that you can communicate, and it all starts with that intention. And it is literally as simple as that. You don't have to control the rest of the process. See, as humans, we think we have to make things happen. We have to control things, but really everything is unfolding beautifully. We just have to open ourselves to it. And you open yourself to it with that simple intention that you choose to open the connection to your dragon guide now. So that's the energetic activation experience I'd like to do with you right now, because I know a lot of people are going to be watching this and be like, oh, come on, I wanted something more tangible. This is that, my friend. This is that. Right now, we're going to do an activation. We're going to call on your personal dragon guide. And if you have many around you, like myself, we're going to focus on one, and it's going to be the one that most strongly wants to come through right now, because it is the one that can most help you right now at this time. It's got something that you need, something that it can share with you. So I would like you to just close your eyes as if you're in a meditation. And the quieter your space, the better for this. And I want you to just take your hands and hold them out, palms up, as if you're receiving. Place your feet on the ground, really ground into the earth. Know that you are creating a bridge between heaven and earth with your body, with your intention, with your frequency right now. And let's just take in a few breaths together, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, imagining you're bringing in golden source light to purge any heaviness, to dissolve any gunk that may be muddying your channel, feeling it activating you, activating that divine channel within. Exhaling, letting go of anything that is not this higher frequency energy. Let it flow back to Mother Earth as you become lighter and lighter, clearer and clearer. Let's just take one more grounding breath, one more inhale. Breathing in that light, exhaling any gunk in the system, anything muddying your channel. And now in this space, in this stillness, you can invite in your personal dragon guide. Call them in. You may even wish to state aloud that you invite them into your experience now, in whatever wording feels aligned for you. And I'll just give you a moment in silence to be very present now with your body and what you notice. Any sensations, tingling, feelings. Maybe you start to get pictures in your mind, sudden senses of knowing. Maybe you hear words. There's so many ways they could communicate with you. Let's just be present for a moment and receive now this communication. Now you can just thank them for revealing themselves to you. Thank them for sharing. Even if you feel you didn't receive anything, know that you might not just be able to perceive it right now, but they did come in for you, and you will be able to perceive them over time, with practice, with patience, when your soul is ready. So now you may open your eyes, and I would love for you to share in the comments what you experienced with that. Did you get pictures? Did you feel something powerful? Did you feel their energy? Did you hear their voice? Did you see what they looked like? Know that depending on what clear ability is strongest for you, you will receive information from them in different ways. So you could have very strong clairsentience, let's say, which is, it's just a feeling. It's just feelings. You might have emotions. You might have tingles. You could have very strong claircognizance, which is just a knowing. You just know things all of a sudden. You didn't know them before, now you know them. So if you would like to kind of learn more about which clair is strong for you and how to use that to connect with your dragon guide, I would recommend you take the free quiz that I offer on my website, What's Your Psychic Superpower? This will tell you your dominant clair ability, and it'll also give you an exercise you can use to start practicing that. And hopefully you can use that with your dragon guide to communicate with your dragon guide. So that's on my website, and I'll also leave a link in the description below. So know that by sharing this, you are literally integrating it in this physical 3D reality. You are making it real. You are grounding it. You are making it tangible in a very big way too. If you just write it, you keep it to yourself, that also makes it real. But when you're like sharing it with others, whoo, that really has this massive ripple effect. So you can share with us whatever you feel called to share. You don't have to share everything, but just whatever is on your heart to share about that experience. Would love to read about your experience just now. And so that is where I'm going to leave it for today. But I will say, if you want to go deeper with this work and you're really, really keen to work with the dragons, you're really feeling the connection, there are so many resources I offer now, such an abundance, such a plethora of resources that I offer, both free and paid, both for beginners and for experts. Basically, anyone that wants to work with the dragons, I'm sure I have something that will assist you with that. The first place I would recommend starting if you're a beginner is with my Dragons Roar playlist on YouTube. Like I said, I probably have at least 100 videos on there now about dragons, different aspects of working with the dragons. Step 2, once you familiarized yourself with that, I would recommend taking the quiz I have on my website. I'll also leave it in the description, which is what elemental dragon guide is calling you. So specifically, this is going to connect you with one of the 4 main dragon elementals: fire, water, earth, or air. And then you're going to receive a little email sequence that's going to guide you through deepening that connection with your guide. 3, I would recommend my Meet Your Dragon Guide meditations on my website, ownyourpowers.com. They're super cheap, I think $333 a piece. So I have like just a normal meditation, and I also have a walking meditation. If you're someone that doesn't like traditional meditation and you like movement and you like to kind of have your eyes open, I also have this walking meditation, which is super cool, by the way. I've had some super cool experiences with that one, and honestly with both of them. 4th offering, and this is for, I would say, like intermediate people that are vaguely familiar with the dragons and now wants to really start taking this a little more seriously. You can join my private community and mystery school, the House of the Spirit Dragon. So we have I think 160 hours of content on there at this point in the library, and it just grows because we meet live twice a month. And we're not always working with the dragons, by the way. So even if you're not super into dragons, there's tons of cool resources on there. We just worked with ghosts, for example. And we do a lot of work on developing your psychic abilities, opening your clairs, reading auras, animal communication, so many things on there. And we've worked now, basically, as of December, we will have worked with all the 9 dragon elementals there. And then we'll start working with different types of dragons as well. So would love to have you. It's a great resource repository for information, as well as a nice opportunity to connect with other dragon souls, people who are on this path. So 5th, what I will offer is I have the Meet Your Dragon Guide sketch, which I rarely talk about these days. This was actually one of my first ever offerings, and I love this one because it's so fun. I will literally connect in with your personal dragon guide, and I will sketch them. And I will say just my own process is, it's not like I'm necessarily seeing your dragon guide when I do this. It's actually just intuitive drawing. So I connect in with their energy, and then they just guide me on how to move my pen. And then before I know it, poof, there's a picture of your dragon guide there, and it's super cool. So I draw a sketch of them for you to keep. And then I also channel a written message for you. And there's also a bundle if you want to have like a one-to-one session with me and get one of these. There's a little bundle. Next offering for those who are really, really serious about this is How to Train Your Dragon Guide, which is literally a course I created a few years ago for not how to train your dragon guide, as the name implies, but how your dragon guide trains you, essentially. And this includes in it an initiation and activation with your personal dragon guide. And you can learn more about your personal dragon guide, how to work with them, how to deepen that bond in a very, very powerful, tangible way. And then the final offering that I have, which I would recommend only for the most committed people, the hardcore people, people who are very experienced with the spiritual path, if not also on the draconic path already. And this is my Path of the Dragon Mage one-to-one mentorship offering. So this is a very deep initiation process over the course of 3 months, where we work with the 9 elemental dragons, as well as the golden dragons, and as well as your personal dragon guide. And we basically take all this fun information about dragons, we ground it, we apply it to your personal life, to whatever challenges you're currently facing, to whatever goals you'd like to achieve. And we kind of, filter the energy through that, and we ground your dragon energy in a very tangible, very powerful way. This is super exciting offering. Honestly, it's probably my favorite offering that I've ever created. I have so much fun with this one. And so for that, as with all of these things, I will leave the links in the description. You can also find them on my website. And you're free to apply to the Path of the Dragon Mage at any time. I can't always guarantee that I'll have slots available, but even if I don't, you can be put on a wait list so that you will be notified when I do have spots available again. So that was an unintentional rundown of basically every dragon service that I offer, and I hope there's something there that can help you, something there that serves you, and that can connect you more deeply with your dragon or dragons, because like I said, this energy, it is on the rise. It is on the rise big time. And I can even foresee it being very crucial, foundational to the new earth, working with dragons. I can foresee a future where like literally everyone is connected to their dragon or dragons, and it's just this, you know, harmonious, symbiotic relationship that we all have with our dragons. Very beautiful new earth frequencies. And it starts with you, my friend. It starts with you right now, embracing this dragon energy, connecting with your guide, despite maybe that voice in your head that's like, oh my God, this is crazy. This can't possibly be real. What is she even talking about? Know that you have the power. You have the power to step into this energy, to embody it, to ground it, to make it real, to make it tangible. Only you can do that. No one else is going to do it for you. As I always say, if you have the voices in your head and you have the doubts and you're just like, this is crazy, how could this be real? I will leave you with this. If being crazy is this much fun, why would I ever want to be sane? With that said, my friend, me and the dragons are sending you so much love on your journey. Know that you are so worthy. You are so worthy to work with the dragons, by the way. So many people say, oh, I'm not worthy. Why would the dragons want to work with little old me? Trust me, you're worthy. And they can see that, but can you? If you can see that, you're going to open yourself to miracles, truly. You're going to open yourself to miracles. And I want that for you. The dragons want that for you, my friend. So know that you are worthy. Know that you are loved. Know that you are a dragon. On some multidimensional level, you are a dragon. Sending you so much love, positive energy, dragon energy, my friend. Stay powerful.